Hello and welcome to day 8 of the Holistic Fast. Today is a big topic, detox. I have been doing detoxification regularly for probably 30 plus years, and even before that. I realized very early on that due to food and water quality and air quality and so forth, I needed to really concentrate on detoxification to keep myself healthy. I was blessed with skin disorders. Like when I was a child, it was eczema, and anything that I eat that needs to come out first shows in the skin. So that means the liver is working hard to get rid of whatever it is that the body doesn't want. So having that release through the skin, which is the largest organ of elimination, really helped me to become aware of what should go into my body and what shouldn't go into my body. If I ate something, let's say when I was a younger person, and I ate at a fast food restaurant or pizza with friends or whatever, I would suffer for that for a couple of days. And that was a really great indication for me over the years of what to remove and what to keep out of my diet. Today we're going to talk about something very specific in terms of detoxification, and that is an Ojibwe formula that was given to me in the 1980s by an Ojibwe medicine man, and he made it up for me. And then and then later, like after a couple of years, he gave me the formula and taught me how to make it. I had contacted him because my father was diagnosed with 4-stage multiple myeloma, and given 3 months to live, by the oncology specialists. And basically they didn't give him any treatment. They said he was far past having any treatment. So I had heard about this formula, and I contacted someone, and he was very generous in his gifts, and how he, we had a relationship over probably 4 or 5 years that went on, and then he said, "Okay, I'm going to cut you loose, and you can do it yourself." And then I taught my mother, and my mother made it for Dad, and he lived 9 healthy years. He completely recovered from 4-stage multiple myeloma and really lived happily and healthy in his last 9 years of life, and did not pass away from cancer. So that was my introduction to this formula. But then my father, in my home area where I used to live, my father was very communicative. He loved talking. He talked to everyone, and he told everyone about it. And so a lot of people were coming to me during those years and getting me to make it for them, or and I did it the way I was taught. So I would make it for a while, and then I would teach the person, how to buy it, how to make it. So for this fast, what I did, because we're more of an international community now, well, this is a very specific formula that comes from a part of Turtle Island, which is in Ontario, and even over into the U.S. parts, where there's some Anishinaabe people, which is now, Michigan area, that Wisconsin. So that's where the different parts of the formula come from. I'm going to list those. In today's writings, you'll see not only the recipe and how to make it, but you'll also see where to order it in Canada. And, in other parts of the world, you can just, find a good quality organic supplier of, things like herbs, barks, fungi. And what I suggest is buy them by the pound, and then put your formula together, and then you have lots available. It's best taken if you have any kind of degenerative disease that you're aware of, it's recommended to not go off of it. You can go on sort of a saturation level and then into a maintenance level when you feel like you can do that, but it's really recommended not to go off of it. So it's it's really a long-term process. If you're doing it just for a intermittent detox, which is actually why the formula was developed by the Ojibwe people. So it, or traditionally it would have been taken for 6 weeks around both equinox. So, that's a good way to do it. Personally, I do it, I take it quite regularly, and I just listen to my body. I've done it for so many years that my body's very, very, very familiar with that formula, and it loves it. It reacts immediately to it in a detoxification. It detoxes through the bowels, through the gastrointestinal system. So it's very, very, very effective. It really helps the liver to detoxify. It helps the kidneys. It really is a great blood cleanser. So it's, so back to the timing, I would take it at this time. I'm taking it for periods of time. Like I'll take it for 1 month, and then I'll go off of it. This is what seems to be happening for at least the last couple of years. Then I'll go off of it for a month, and then I'll go back onto it for a month. But I've been detoxing what I feel is the spike proteins from what I call bioweapon number 1, which is a contagious part of COVID. I don't know where it began. We hear all kinds of theories, but I do know that I contracted something that affected me in the long term. And this detox formula, along with many other different things that I added to my list of supplements, really assisted me in regaining my health. So that's why I'm doing sort of 1 month on, 1 month off. While I was really detoxing, I didn't go off of it at all. I stayed on it. So that gives you just a little overview of that. Yeah, so it's called, originally, I call it Ojibwe detox. It became famous through a woman by the name of Renee Case, and she called it Easiac, which is her name spelt backwards. And she was a Canadian nurse, and she was working on a cancer ward, and she, back in the, the days when things weren't all sterilized. So she started making the brew for people in the cancer ward, and people started getting well and going home. And so she became well known over about 2 or 3 decades. She did her very best to try and legalize it in Canada, and it was not done in her lifetime. But then she gave her instructions to someone before she died. That person also attempted to get it legalized, and then sold the whole formula to a corporation, which now you see it in most health food stores. I don't recommend that. It's very expensive. It's only like a 4-ounce little bottle, and it's not organic. And it just really didn't feel right to me. Even in, when I was doing it in the first few years, it wasn't legal in Canada. But even when it became legal, I never recommended that product. I tried it a few times over the years to see if they had improved, and they hadn't. So I tell people just to do it yourself. Now, that's the best way to do it anyway. Anything that we're doing for our body, anything that we're giving to our body in terms of healing, I feel it's really important to brew our own medicines. Do that with gratitude and with love, and asking the plants what we require, asking for that during the brewing process. It has a great effect, I feel, on the energy of the medicine. So I'll say here too, for Canadian law, everything that I do on all of these videos on the entire 43 days of the Holistic Fast, plus anything in my work at all, whether it be written or verbal, this is for educational purposes only. This is not for curing, prescribing, it's not for any kind of medical intervention. This is for education. So please take this education and use it in your own self-responsible way. One thing I'll also add, you'll see more on the, on the writings, but one thing I'll add is remain hydrated, be very aware of your hydration during detoxification. And yeah, I think everything else is there on today's writing. So please enjoy, and we'll see you on day 9. It will be on day 9. It'll be an interesting recap of the last of all 8 days so far. So thanks so much for watching.